Hello to my replay viewers. Hello. Hi there, this is Dr. Jana. Oh goodness, that is very bright in the back. I'm a sex researcher, professor of human sexuality at NYU, and your daily scoper on things related to sexual health, sex science, sex education. And today we have an interesting and unusual scope that I hope is going to be useful to people. It is an interview with a sexual assault survivor. It is someone who has been in my scopes before and has watched and listened to me interview an actual pedophile a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to talk about her experience with being in that scope, as well as a conversation about the experiences that she had when she was a teenager. So that's what this is going to be about. We're gonna do a Skype interview with Saigon jovi. And if this is going to be something that you think is useful to other people, click that Perry Buddy down there and invite your followers. If be aware, there's trigger warnings that come with this. It's a difficult topic. It is a difficult conversation that we're going to have emotionally. It's not going to be easy for me, for our interviewee. So thanks for everyone saying respect. Hopefully everyone will keep their respect and compassion. Are there any people who are new to me and who are unaware of who I am, what I do? Tell me that you're new. Try for this one, exactly. Okay. So we have, hi Ronnie, hi Catrice, brand new, excellent. Okay, so my name is Dr. Jana. You only saw me interview Brie Olson. Okay, so my name is Dr. Jana. I'm a sex researcher. I study casual sex, non-monogamy, and sexual orientation. And I teach human sexuality at NYU. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a PhD kind of doctor. And I do daily scopes here on Periscope that have to do with with sexual health and sex ed and sex science. So this particular scope is going to be about interviewing a sexual assault survivor about her experience. God, a lot of trolls. I'm trying to block all the trolls.
So early?
Yeah, to get rid of the sex pics requests and boobs requests and the hello baby. Block party. We need to do a little block party before we can actually get this interview started, so that we make sure we have a mostly respectful audience here. Good luck. I know we'll need some luck. So again, if this interview is 2 weeks in the making, exactly. So again, this is your chance to invite followers. If you think this is going to be interesting to other people, and so we can get started. Yes, I block trolls pretty easily when I catch them. I don't always catch them, but I try to get rid of them quickly. Okay. What else did I want to say? Anything before we start? Very important work. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope so. I mean, this is a difficult topic, and we often don't talk about difficult topics that have to do with sexuality, and it's important to have these kinds of conversations. So I'm not going to be able to talk to the camera all the time, so please, the other, some of you who are going to stay in this chat room, if you can answer people's basic questions, like when they come in and they're like, what is this about? Can someone, maybe Sammy or someone who thinks that they're going to stay here for the rest of the conversation, kind of answer the questions? She is not there with me. Or Howard. Yeah, Howard, welcome. Yes. This will be on Catch, just like all my other scopes are. So, if you don't catch it now, watch it on Catch. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera now and start talking to Amber. Excellent. Hi, Dee.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Can try.
I think it's bright enough. Yeah,
You think
fine.
that's okay? I'm trying to figure out the light and everything. So thank you so much for doing this. Hopefully we'll get through it without it being too difficult or too problematic. Tell us a little bit about you, however much you want to share, and who are you, where are you, what do you do, who's the, and you are also in Periscope, so tell us what about your Periscope, do you scope, do you not, and so on.
Well, my name is Dee, and I'm 51 years old. I've been periscoping for about 2 months only. I only do a little bit here and there because I get nervous, like I am right now. I have 2 grown children and 1 granddaughter.
Oh wow!
And that's it, I guess. I don't know. Ask me questions. I'm better if you ask me.
Yeah. Sammy says she doesn't look 51.
Thank you.
Lover says I know, actually, someone earlier on my earlier scope asked me how old are you? I was like, I don't know, maybe late 30s. That's what I said.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you.
And where are you? Are you in the U.S.?
I'm in Florida.
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 Right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? What's your general profession?
Accounting. I work at accounting at Claire's.
Okay.
The fashion accessories store. Woo!
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us then. So you're a sexual assault survivor. Can you tell us about what happened? Where?
We lived here in Florida. We were originally from New York. We were born in New York, and my mom married my stepfather. And he moved us to Florida because he's Cuban, and that's where they all go.
Right.
So we came down here, and a few years afterwards, he started, he would take me fishing with him, and he would, while we were fishing, he would masturbate, but like on the corner by the side.
Oh.
And so, I'm a little kid. I want to say I was about maybe 9.
Okay.
And so you're curious. So you're gonna, like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? So I keep fishing. And as time went on, he would do it more and more. And I would look, but I wouldn't say anything. So then he would say, don't say anything.
Okay. Did he ever explain what he was doing? Did he talk about it at all?
No.
Okay.
Not then, not when it started.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go fishing all the time, and I really liked to go fishing, but I didn't want to go towards the end because I was scared. I was just scared. But I was curious too. I mean, that's what you do when you're 9.
Sure.
So, time went on.
Were you already entering puberty? Was your body already kind of changing? Were the puberty hormones starting?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely. Yeah. So as time went on, he would tell me not to tell. So I wouldn't tell because I just didn't know. At 9, you really don't know what to say or not to say. So I didn't tell. I didn't tell for a long time. Plus, like you said, my hormones were going. So I was really confused.
Right.
So time went on, and I got older. And see, the thing is that I don't remember a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
Like my sister tells me, oh, you don't remember this and you don't remember that? And I'm like,
no.
So I think your body automatically protects itself from remembering a lot of things. But the things that I do know, that I do remember, I can share. But so time went on, and he would, like, if my mom would go on vacation, he would tell me, stay, and I'll buy you jelly donuts, which were my favorite, or I'll buy you your favorite painter pants. They were these pants that they sold like at an Army Navy store.
Uh-huh.
Carpenter pants. And I had them in every color. So he says, I'll buy you a new pair of carpenter pants. So I wanted them in all colors, so I stayed. And he would put on the TV and make me lay down with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was naked. And he'd, touch himself. Never me, really. Then he would touch himself, and that's what he would do, and he did that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he would, as time went on, I got older, and he would masturbate for my neighbor across the street on one side of the house, and for my neighbor on the other side as well. I didn't know this till way later, but he would do that as well, and he was just a bad guy. Hold on.
Was he mistreating you in other ways? Was he?
He was really strict.
That's okay. Take a moment if you need to. Absolutely. This must be so hard. And everyone is saying you're so courageous to actually talk about this, and people are like, I could never talk about it.
I have no idea why I'm crying. I talk about it all the time. But he was really strict, and he was really mean to my mom. He was really strict. He would hide like on top of the school roof or something or somewhere, and he would watch us to make sure we weren't talking to boys. He wouldn't like us to anything with boys, So I know that he would hide, and he would do those things at nighttime with my neighbors, and and he would masturbate in the bathroom too, and he would say to me sometimes like I'm just trying to teach you these things so nobody can come and trick you.
Wow.
Good ones. And then he also would tell us, okay, if you tell your mom, I'll kill you. I'll kill your mom. But so he said that a few times, and then sometimes he would say, well, I'll give you these little pills and put them in your food, and you'll get fat like the church lady Gloria. He would say that. And you won't know when I put it in your food, and you're going to get fat like her. That's what he would say.
Wow.
I was like, I want to say 11-ish around that time.
So he was using like things. All sorts of methods, things to bribe you with, things to threaten you with.
Yeah.
Controlling your other behaviors. That's, wow.
And you're a little kid, so you don't know. I mean, we moved to Florida with my mom and my sister and my stepfather. I had nobody in Florida. Zero. All my family lived in New York.
New York, right.
So what was I supposed to do? I was a little kid, so I didn't know. And then as I got older, then I started knowing, then I ran away from home when I was like 12. And I came back, when they found me, I told my mom what was happening. Mm-hmm. And we used to go to church. He was a church guy.
Oh, the hypocrisy.
He was a church guy. So we would go to church, and what was I saying? Well, once we found him and I told my mom, at first she didn't believe me because that's a big deal. That's not something so little. So at first they all believed that I wasn't telling the truth.
Right.
That I was just saying that so my mom wouldn't be with him anymore, which wasn't so. It was the truth. And so she sent me to his sister's house that lived like an hour away from us, give or take. And I was there for a while. Mm-hmm. I started school over there and everything. And he came to the house one time and he tried to commit suicide. And so then I think, that was a sign of guilt for them. And then he just, thank you. I already cried, so I'm good. I'm sorry. She's bringing me water and tissue. Thank you, baby. So he tried to commit suicide, and so then they kind of started believing me because that's a sign of guilt.
Right.
To me, because I wasn't gonna stand down to him. I wasn't gonna step. I was just telling the truth, and I just was like, I couldn't believe that they didn't believe me. I don't think that they purposely didn't believe me. I just think that it was too much for them. In those days, that was very taboo. You didn't talk about that.
Right. And
period.
It is very common for family members not to believe when children, come to them and say, my dad or stepdad or granddad, whoever it is. It's a very common response. People just don't want to believe because that shakes up their entire reality, right? And so it's a defense mechanism. Oh no, the kid is just making shit up. They don't realize how serious of an issue it is.
Yeah, it's a big issue.
And
So the years went by. My mom left him. We moved to where where his sister lived. We moved over there. Totally changed our lives. Totally. And so then the work started.
what people were asking if you had siblings, and I remember you saying when we talked about you had a sister as well, right? What was going on with her?
I don't want to say what happened to her because that's her story to tell.
Right.
And I feel, I don't feel comfortable saying her story. I prefer to just say mine, but it happened to her as well.
Right.
I just didn't, for a long time, I just didn't know about her, and I don't think she knew about me. I think that's the way it happened.
Right. Uh-oh. You froze. Oh, okay. We're back.
Okay. So we've talked about it, but, she dealt with her demons as well, and I dealt with mine, and, So.
I want to transition to sort of, when you say the work started, but I want to give people a chance to maybe ask some questions if they want to ask some questions about what, what was happening during the time that you were living together. Someone says when he was masturbating at his neighbors, was that with adults or with children? What?
Children, my age, my fellow schoolmates.
Your fellow schoolmates, wow. Yeah, you're a strong, powerful woman for speaking about this, says really Elliot. Really commend you. Do you have any questions about sort of the story thus far? People are saying, wow. Did he ever serve any time for it? No.
No, we used, at the church, we told them what was going on. And in those days, it was so taboo. I don't think they believed us anymore either. I was so petrified of him. And we were so scared that he was going to come and kill us after we told the people in church. They just disfellowshipped him, and that was it.
They disfellowshipped him? Did he ever touch you or the kids? So was it just, masturbation, or did he actually...
No, he touched me. And... yeah, he touched me. he touched me more than touched me. Yeah, but I just don't remember if he penetrated me. But I know that he was there with his penis. I know that. I just don't remember if he penetrated me or not.
Okay.
I can't remember that.
Wow. Yes, he did not serve any time. There was no criminal procedures against them, right? Yeah. So people are saying
I could have after therapy, because they say that once a child remembers something, that's when they start I don't know, something about the time, or I forgot what the word is, but there's a time that they start taking it from when you remember in therapy, that there's a time,
right?
Because we went to therapy so much later, so I forgot what the word is, but anyways, that word.
Yeah, there's a statute of limitations, right?
Yeah.
Right. Wow. So tell us about, therapy, how you've dealt since. That's what people are asking. What did you do to overcome this and to be where you are now?
Truthfully, since you're a little kid and you don't know, well, when I was growing up, I always had a lot of boyfriends, one after the other, because I was looking for love. And since he was my stepfather and I loved him, there was a very fine line. I loved him. He was my stepfather. So I figured if I did these things, he would love me more. I mean, that's what you think, right?
Right.
So I grew up thinking that if I was fantastic in bed, the guys would love me more. So they came back. Sure enough, they flew back. But just to get laid, they didn't come because they wanted me, right?
Right.
So that's where I was. And so I went to therapy one time with a friend. She took me to this therapy that she was going to, and it was a seminar of survivors of children of sexual abuse or the inner child, something. And it was a 2-day seminar. I tell you what, I cried when it was time to go. The entire time that it was time to go, I stayed there crying because it was like an explosion. It was like a bomb. And I was like, I was afraid to leave. I was like, wow, what do I do now? So I started going to therapy to that guy.
How old were you? How old were you when that happened?
I already had a kid, so I want to say I might have been 26.
Okay.
Because I had it when I was 17, but I started dealing with that years later. So, 27, and I went to see him. He's awesome, Tom Norris. And the first session, I cried the whole hour.
Wow.
I couldn't even talk. He says, no, we're here. Just do whatever you want. So I just cried. I couldn't talk. So then he started giving me therapy, and I hated it. Oh, I hated it. It was like a torture chamber. And then he wanted me to go to group therapy. So I would go 2 times a week, and I was like I almost gave up.
Why did you not? What did you not like about it? Why was it torture? Was it reliving the experiences, or?
I don't know if it was reliving the experiences or just checking yourself. You had to look in. You had to get in dirty and do the work. And, you know,
doing the work is hard, says someone.
Doing the work is really hard, which is why 90% of people don't put in the work. And I'm all for therapy and putting in the work. Get in and get dirty, because that's what makes you happy at the end. So I put in the work reluctantly. I put it in, and I put it in, and I put it in, and every day I use it, and I stopped needing to be with anybody. I stopped needing to be validated by anybody. I stopped needing to be fabulous in bed so they can come back. I started loving me every single day a little bit more. I love myself so much that it's sickening. And that's what makes me happy every day.
How long did that process take?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years? I'm just writing down a couple of questions that I saw. And do you feel like that's something that you've overcome now? Is it something that's behind you and that...
Most certainly. I mean, I know this is really weird to say, but...
She is so amazing. I know. Someone said she's so amazing.
Thank you. In a weird way, you know, I think that if it wouldn't have happened to me, I wouldn't have gone in and gotten dirty. I just don't think that I would have put in that kind of work to make me feel so great about me. To be more confident, to be more free inside and be bright inside instead of dark inside. Because most people, even if this doesn't happen to people, people are still dark inside and they don't want to put in the work.
For other reasons,
For other reasons, whatever it is. And I still use the tools every day. Every day, you know, you use them. So.
Yeah, that's very true. I was saying, do you feel like you that you have sort of residual trauma from that? Someone saying, you know, many people have PTSD, you know, post-traumatic stress syndrome, you know, many decades later. Do you feel that, or you feel like you're good?
No, I don't feel that at all. I never have felt that way. I never ever became a victim, is what I definitely didn't want to be. Because I always feel that if I became a victim of my circumstances, then he wins.
Right.
So I really never really wanted to, I need a drink, or I need drugs, or I need to be this way, or I can't because I'm traumatized. if you put in the work, I don't think you're going to be traumatized. As a matter of fact, I lived it, and I know that I'm not. So, I mean, you can become a victim of your circumstances. Oh, my stepfather, he raped me when I was little, boo-hoo me. I need this weed, or I need this coke, or whatever. I just didn't, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it. Some people, it's too much for them, and I get it. But it feels better to me. It's kind of healing. Like, this shit really happened, people.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your surroundings, because I love this man.
Yeah.
And it's a really fine line to love and hate somebody. And I can't tell you that I hated him, because I didn't.
Wow.
I don't think I hated him at the end either.
You didn't hate him at the end even?
I don't think I can. I mean, he's dead now. See you, Felicia. But I didn't hate him. I saw him many, many, many years later. I was grown, 2 children already, and I saw him, and I got nervous, so nervous. But I wanted him to see me. I wanted him to see me. Ha! Look, bitch. I wanted him to see me.
Yeah, I'm alive and bitch. Well, and yeah.
I wanted him to see me.
Right.
I don't know why. I felt like I wanted him to see me, but I was scared. Just like when you had the pedophile on the thing, I felt the same way. I was like scared. Like, it was the weirdest feeling. I don't even.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna transition into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a really good point. And some people are making a point that some people are maybe more fragile, and they do end up struggling with this for many more years. I think you were in many ways lucky to be able to, with that attitude, probably, your personality and your circumstances, to not, to only need like 3 years of therapy, that given what has happened to you, it might be, it's not a very long time, right? I think some people go through it for many more years.
Well, I had a lady in therapy that, in my group therapy, that she was like 65. I told you the story before, and she was dealing with these demons at 65, and she was my cure, because I saw her struggling with this, and I said, that is not gonna be me. I am not gonna deal with this shit when I'm 65. So I gotta work.
Wow.
And that's why she was the one. If it hadn't been for her, I don't think I would have continued. It's torture, it's torture to get into your feelings and cry all the time and just be so exhausted, like I was at the time of your scope. I was exhausted. I was breathless. I couldn't even breathe. I was like, that was a lot, emotional. And it's hard to get like that all the time. So
yeah, you don't want to live like that. A couple of questions from the audience before we move on to the Periscope. How do you feel about your mom now?
I adore my mom. In those days, in her defense, just people didn't talk about that. People weren't watching for that. You just didn't know about that. I mean, I'm sure that it happened in her days too. I mean, sexual abuse was always there. I think it's always been there. I just don't think that it was, TV didn't talk about it, radio didn't talk about it. So what was she looking for? How would she know what to look for?
Right.
She wouldn't have known. Plus, we were scared of him. We were simply scared of him. So, she feels bad, and I think she feels guilty, but I tried to make her not feel guilty by who I've become. And who my sister has become. I think that should be for her. Of course, she's going to deal with her own thing, how she feels about it. Excuse me. But I try to assure her that we're fine. We're fine, Mom. I mean, I'm a parent, so I know that.
Yeah.
If this happens in today's day and age, I would say, hey, didn't you see the warning signs? Didn't you see it? I could expect that today, but back then, no, it was not her fault. I mean, she was scared like all of us were.
Someone was asking, what's Dee's name? Her Periscope handle is in the title of this Periscope. They want to give you hearts on your Periscope. So if she decides to scope, yes. So you can see it's Saigon Jovi, and you can, yeah, her handle is in the Periscope title. Are you particularly cautious with your own kids?
You know, I had 2 sons, and I had them so young.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I was cautious. But I was fighting these demons when I had them.
Mm.
I was going through this when I had them. So was I as attentive as I could have been? Probably not. But I think I was attentive enough in the sexual aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
that, that wasn't going to go down, because I knew all those things.
Right. Right.
So I don't, I am like that with my granddaughter. I mean, she's going to be 16, but,
Oh, wow.
I know she's a grown woman, but I am always like very picky about letting her, if she tells me, mommy's letting me go here or to my friend's house, and I'm like, I drive her crazy, because I say, Serena, does mommy know them? I don't want you anywhere with the dad by yourselves. I get crazy like that. And she says, I know, Grammy, but it's just, it's scary, because it's, it's who you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's right in your face. That's the first one who's going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we're so much afraid of stranger rape, right? And that's the minority of cases. Only about, I think, 10 or 20% of sexual assaults happen from complete strangers. That iconic image of walking down the street and someone grabs you from a dark alley. Most of the time, it is someone you know.
It's
someone
who you know and love.
trust, someone in your family, or someone in your school, or someone who's a friend. And you should see there's a lot of people actually disclosing their own stories here and saying, I've been sexually abused, your story is my story. Yeah, and really, I'm really glad to have this, that we need to share stories, and we need to talk about these things, because it really helps. It helps, I think, individuals telling the story help make sense of their own story, and it helps other people connect with that. And then speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about so they're giving you their support.
Thank you. Nothing special.
Well, you are. I mean, we're all special in some way, but some of us.
But I wanted them to get what I got from your last scope.
Mm-hmm.
If it can help one person, then make me feel the way, make them feel the way that made me feel, it's awesome.
Let's talk about that scope and how it made you feel, and what really started this whole interview. For those who may not be aware, so a couple of weeks ago, I did a interview, an audio interview with a pedophile or a hebephile, a man from Europe who is attracted very strongly to early pubescent children, so children who are around the age of 9 to 11 or 12. He claimed to have never offended against the child, but that was his preference. That's and so we sort of talked about his pedophilia, his attractions, his life, and during that time, Dee was in the scope, was watching the scope, and at the end, she said that really helped her with her own experience. So, how did it help? How did it make you feel, or what was that experience of you being and watching and listening to that scope?
Well, first, I thought that he was very courageous to get on there and say all those things that he said, that literally took my breath away, because it was really, it was a real eye-opener
Mm-hmm.
for me. And the way that it helped me understand my stepfather, I thought that he was just a perv,
Mm-hmm.
really, just a pervert trying to get over on a little kid. So that's just the only way I saw it. I never thought that it was actually a problem that he had, that he perhaps couldn't control. As this guy said, that he can control it.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to not offend, be sexual towards a little girl.
Right.
But I guess my stepfather couldn't control what was happening to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me, I already didn't hate the guy. I mean, I have to
Right.
admit, I couldn't hate him. I don't know why I couldn't hate him. Perhaps it's because I didn't have my father. Oh, I'm going to cry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Take your time.
I mean, I have my father, but he just wasn't there on an everyday basis.
Right.
So when you're a little kid, you need both parents. You need both sides of the street. You
Mhm.
need to be able to relate to a man, and you need to relate to a woman. I believe that. So I didn't have that.
Mhm.
So they yanked me to this Florida that I hate, and we were by ourselves. And so I clinged on because he was the dad.
Yeah, he was the only dad you had at that point. Yeah.
Right, at that moment. He was the present dad at the moment.
Right.
Good, bad, or ugly. He was just the guy. So I loved him. I mean, so I never really hated him. So it's hard for me to say that I was more sympathetic. Okay, maybe that's the word. I was more sympathetic to what he was going through, even though it's bad and disturbing.
Mhm.
But I was listening to your guy because maybe it was a true problem that he didn't know how to say or work on it or anything. Like, this guy's struggling to be a better person and to be good. I don't know if he knew how. If my
Right.
stepfather knew how to. So I was even more sympathetic, and it made me understand him a little bit more. That it just made me understand him more. Even if the things that he was saying was, I mean, it was pretty hard to hear. I just was sympathetic to your interview guy too. I was. And at the same time I wasn't. So it's really, it's very confusing.
Yeah, it arouses in you all sorts of feelings. I mean, there's no doubt that some people experience this very strong attraction. It's the sexual. It's almost like a sexual orientation, right? That's what we're talking about, towards a certain age. We usually think about sexual orientation as toward a certain gender, but you can also think of it as toward a certain age. And who knows whether that was the case with your stepfather or not. We can't be sure, but it seems like he did this with enough children of the same age that it sounds like a preference. And this orientation rather than just a circumstantial kind of situational thing. And yeah, he obviously didn't know how to control it, and he didn't even try to control it. In fact, he used every tool in his toolbox, or every weapon, if you will, to get what he needed. Yeah, it's so weird. Am I missing some questions? Do you have any questions or comments? We love you, Joey, they're saying. Sending big hugs for both of us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm probably going to sob when I watch the replay.
Yeah. They're asking, do you know if he had gotten abused himself, if he was abused as a child?
That's a great question. I wish I would have known that. I have no way of knowing. He came from Cuba, and I was too little. We didn't discuss those things. They didn't talk about those kind of things back in those days. So I wouldn't have known to ask either.
Right.
But
did he go back to his religion? There's a question. No.
He actually, and I think I'm right when I say this, he actually married somebody much younger than him.
Oh, really? Wow.
Bingo.
Interesting. How old was he during the abuse?
I think he was younger than my mom, too. I want to say he might have been younger than my mom, too. So I don't know how old he was when all this happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you say like 30s or 40s or?
I want to say he was in his 30s.
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 Yeah. I'm just looking at some questions. Did you know at the time? Did you know at the time that it was wrong?
That's a great question. I, when I was really young, when it started like around 9, I knew that it was different. I really didn't know that it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it was different because it was a secret. So
Right.
to me, secrets were like not good. So not until later did I started like this is a little perverse.
Right.
I wouldn't say the word perverse because I didn't know the word perverse then,
Right.
but it's just it seemed nasty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do your kids know your story? They're asking.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
I don't think that, but they do. Like I said, I think my son's on the scope actually.
Oh, really?
I know
Wow.
my sisters are.
Oh, wow. Damn.
So yeah, my older son, he knows everything. My younger, my oldest son, I want to say, God, he's gonna kill me because I always forget, but I think he's 32 or 33.
Sorry, son. if you got it wrong.
And my other son is 27. I think he's 27, but he doesn't have Periscope.
He doesn't have it.
But
He says,
you know,
he says, I'm 33, Mom. What the fuck? Oh my god. That's hilarious.
so that's him. He's my baby boy.
Hi, older son.
So he doesn't know in depth now. He does, but
No,
you know,
he does.
I share everything with them because what you see is what you get. There's nothing hidden here.
Right. How did that like? When did you tell them? How did that conversation go? Was that something that you kind of decided to do at one point, or?
I don't think there was no particular point. Okay, when he gets to this age, I'll tell him what happened. It's just we're very freely we freely talk about everything. So I
Gotcha.
always, I guess he heard it and I talked about it. I don't think there was, I sat them down and looked, this happened to your mom.
Someone says, oldest son, you have an amazing mom.
That's so funny.
King Vet, that's crazy. Yeah, so yes, you can find this on Catch, and you can find all my previous stuff on Catch. Why did you decide to come on the show?
Why did I decide to come on this show?
Yeah, and to talk about that.
Simply because, I think that a lot of people, more so than not, have been through this and they don't talk about it for shame, because for many years I was ashamed because when it happened to me, like when I went to therapy, my therapist told me, you enjoyed it. And I said, yeah,
Wow.
I did. And simply, it was so hard to get those words out because how could I enjoy that? That's such a sin. That's like, what are you saying you enjoyed it? I enjoyed it because I was a little girl with hormones that didn't know, and that's what happens. It wasn't that I enjoyed what was the abuse of it. I was just a normal, he made me understand that I didn't do anything wrong because I enjoyed it. Like,
Right.
how horrible of me to enjoy it. That's how I felt. How I'm crazy. I'm crazy. How can you enjoy it? But
Right, if you enjoyed it, then it's not abuse, right? That's the thinking, yeah.
and it's not like that at all.
Right.
It leaves you broken. It leaves you broken in places that you don't know that you're broken, but you're broken. And all the therapy in the world will make it wonderful, and but you're still gonna be a little broken. There's
Yeah.
still gonna be a little broken in there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's often, with children and with adults too, if their bodies respond, which is perfectly normal when something sexual is happening, whatever, whether you think it's right or wrong, whether it is right or wrong, our bodies often will respond in a way, that
that
bodies
God meant it to be with a consensual relationship.
Yeah, so
Just the little
penises
kid.
might get hard, vaginas may lubricate, you might actually enjoy it, you might have an orgasm, and people think, oh, if my body responded this way, then it can't possibly be abuse, and
Right.
that is obviously not
And so that's
true.
why I wanted to come on, because many people don't talk about it. And I want them to, maybe that they see that I'm so free about it, that maybe they'll want to, put in the work for themselves, or have someone to talk to and tell, like, I didn't have those things until I went to therapy. I wish I
Right.
would have,
Right.
But some people are just ashamed because, like, I was ashamed. Oh my God, wow, that happened to me. So, so maybe if I come on and they hear it, maybe they can,
Yeah.
it can help them, like it helped me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for your openness, and
No problem.
yeah, everyone is being so supportive and saying, like,
Thank
it's
you.
amazing how supportive the scope is, and this group of people, and yeah, they anything that you would like to, like, if you could, from this perspective, say to your stepdad.
Asshole? No. No, I would just, I've thought about that, but I don't think there's anything that I can say. I loved him, and I loved him, and he betrayed me, that's all.
Oh God. It's that it happens so frequently, right? It's the people we love the most. Everyone's saying,
And
I love
I've never really told a lot of people that I loved him, but I did.
Yeah, we all want to give you a hug.
Thank you.
What would you say to your younger self, if you could?
What would I say to my younger self? I already did tell my younger self. Be strong and don't let them win. That's what I said to my younger self. I already told her. So, everything that comes to me, I have to handle, and I feel that I handle it well because I handled the worst. And I don't think that's the worst. I think the worst thing that has ever happened to me was my son had brain surgery. That's the worst thing in the world. So, I, in a way, perhaps it prepared me to deal with, things that life throws at you. And so I told my little girl back then, girl, you gotta rise. You gotta rise. And that's, I try to do that every day. I'm not perfect and I'm not stronger than anybody else, but I really check myself inside all the time. I mean, all the time. And no matter how old I get, I always have to check myself. And that's it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, they're saying you're so inspiring. And they're sending a lot of love and hugs and the essence of resilience. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a tremendous amount of resilience and personal strength. We love you, Joey. We love you, Joey. People have, they're crying. I can't even comment. Oh my God, a lot of hearts. You're getting lots and lots of hearts. You'll see when you watch the replay. Yeah, you should. You should scope. You shouldn't be afraid to scope if you want to. And I think. Yeah, you should totally have your own show doing this. Oh my God, so many parts. This is powerful. It really is. I'm so grateful. Thank you immensely for doing this and for being so open and honest and talking about all of it. Yes, you should scope. I agree. Is there anything else that you want to say that we didn't cover? Any sort of last questions from the audience that you guys want to ask? I'm getting lots of hearts and flowers. Stars. um, yeah. I think we covered a lot. Yeah, no questions.
I do want to tell them that the guy that you did the interview with did reach out to me on Twitter.
Right.
That was a bad one.
Yeah. What did he want? Did you respond? Was there...
I have not yet because I was waiting to do this. When he responded, it freaked me out badly. I felt like he was watching me. So I felt fear that, oh my God, he's going to find me. And I just don't know. I felt when I was a little kid. That's how I felt. So I was so nervous. And then when I talked to you, I told you, he called, he reached out to me on Twitter. I don't even know what to say. And I am going to answer him back. I just didn't know, I don't know. I don't know what to say. So I guess, when I think I know what I'm going to say, I'll just write back to him, because he's a broken soul in a way too.
Right.
So, can I help him even, And I think I maybe can help him from the other side. Maybe he's never heard nobody's side like my side. Who knows? He's maybe on this scope as we speak.
He might be, yeah. He hasn't said anything, but he might be watching him.
But, so maybe he needs somebody. Maybe he can hear from the other side, and it will be just cemented that he won't ever commit that. He won't ever do that.
Right. Right. Yeah. If there is a way to, give them support to not offend, then I think a huge problem will be solved, right? From I
mean, I don't want to have a relationship with him and talk to him all the time.
Right.
But, I'll just talk to him one time and get it out there, and then he can process it however he wishes. I just have to take the time to do it because I get very nervous and I don't want no interruptions because I go in the zone and I can't get out of the zone. So,
Yeah, that's really, again, brave and beautiful and strong of you to even think of it that way, right? That you might want to offer him some support. It's So I mean, whenever you feel ready to respond.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I will. But that's it on my side. I don't think I have anything else. I've been with the same guy for like 25 years. That is putting in the work, girl.
Wow, yeah.
Because before I was a 2-year cutoff. Next. Because I was, I was not right.
Yeah, you were searching for some sort of validation. Yeah.
And now I'm my own validation.
And that is the most beautiful thing, and a lot of people don't have that. Even people who haven't, as you said, who haven't been sexually abused, right? We often, struggle with self-doubt and not loving ourselves, and seeking external validation, and so finding internal validation that nothing can really shake that's the elixir of basically happiness and stability and well-being, emotional well-being. Okay, I think I'm gonna end this at this point. This has been really. Hold on. What would you say to young girls that are dealing with sexual abuse?
Wow. I would tell them to say it to somebody very quickly.
Just come out, yeah.
Just really come out and ask for help. Do whatever you need to do just to get out of that situation. Don't be scared. There's nothing that he can do to you. Nothing that he can do to you. That the worst thing that he can do to you is you allow him to do what he wants to do to you. You have to get out. Get out. And somebody's going to help you. Somebody's going to rescue you. Somebody will.
Oh my God. Someone just said that this inspired them to share their own story of abuse. And so they're going to do their own scope afterwards. So I just followed you, Tammy. Wow. Yeah. So if this inspired anyone to talk about it, whether they want to talk about it on their own scopes or write about it somewhere, or we can do another interview on my scope. Please let us know or share or get in touch. Can they get in touch with you? And yeah, so
Absolutely.
what is the best way for them to reach you on Twitter or?
Yeah, they can message me on Twitter.
Is it the same? Is the same handle as your Periscope? Yeah. So you all can see her handle on the title, or someone can write it out, Saigon Jovi, in the comments. Someone was saying, I know someone who needs help because she struggled. She's a survivor, but she doesn't want to get therapy.
Oh, that's the worst thing
What do
she
you
could
do with that?
The best thing is therapy. It'll change your life. I was suicidal. It was pretty bad. And therapy saved my life. And I love my therapist, and he's my angel.
Mm.
Yeah, therapy is the only way. It's the only way out, actually.
Yeah. So you got to find a way to get her into therapy in some way.
She doesn't want to go to therapy because she doesn't want to confront the demons and go to the dark side. But you got to go there to get out. You got to go there.
Yeah, some therapists suck indeed. Someone was saying some.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's important to find the right therapist, a good therapist. So yeah, get recommendations from people who've seen that person before you go. Okay. All right, I think I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone. If you think this was useful, share it and people can watch the replay. I'm gonna put it on Catch, so it'll be there even after it's gone from Periscope. Dee, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't say how much I appreciate this.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for being so supportive and so amazing and asking great questions. And I'm really glad that this helped some people kind of come, be able to talk about it or make sense of their own experiences. Okay, I will see you probably tomorrow. I'm not sure what the tomorrow's scope is going to be about, but I will be back, obviously, tomorrow because I can't not scope at least once a day. And hopefully you can see Dee scope herself very soon. I don't know. If not, connect with her on Twitter if you want to get in touch with her. Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna say goodbye, and we can chat for a second. So stay on Skype. Okay. Thank you. You're very welcome. Yes, you can totally follow Dee and connect with her. Okay. Bye. Oops. Come on. Why is this not working?
There. Do it again.
I can't. No, that's not it. I can't end the scope. This is really funny.